The Solomon Islands, deep in the South Pacific. An ancient land ripped apart by war. Two mighty nations, Japan and America, fight for control of these tiny spits of land. Into this fiery cauldron comes a privileged young man from Harvard. A young man unprepared for the horrors of war. In this savage arena, he would be tested to the limits of his endurance.
No one could possibly anticipate the tragedy and the sense of loss that these men and women experienced.
And it was here that he would experience every naval officer's nightmare, the sinking of his boat. Now, some 60 years later, explorer Bob Ballard, the man who found the Titanic, has come here to pull back the veil of history.
This was where he was made into a man. He came into this still a boy, and he left a man.
For somewhere in these seas is the boat, the story, and the legacy that propelled that young man to become President of the United States. The young man was John F. Kennedy. The boat, PT-109. This is the research vessel Gray Scout. It's on assignment for National Geographic. Hundreds of miles northeast of their home port in Gladstone, Australia, it's steaming through the Coral Sea. A converted supply vessel, it's rigged for underwater exploration. It carries 2 remote-controlled video robots, side-scanning sonar, and a crew of dedicated technicians.
We want just enough so it's not too fast, but enough so that the vehicle's going to want to drift aft.
It looks like we'll get up into Black and Strait early, like 7 in the morning or so.
They're on their way to the site of some of the most savage naval battles of World War II. The Solomons. An isolated chain of volcanic islands that stretches for nearly 1,000 miles across the South Pacific. Here, the Gray Scout will rendezvous with the man who found the Titanic, the Bismarck, and who combed the Black Sea for evidence of Noah's flood, Dr. Robert Ballard. This time, Ballard is after a much smaller prize, but a prize that's no less significant. John F. Kennedy's PT-109.
There's so many incredible stories about human struggle and human events, and certainly for President Kennedy, a young man at that time, this was when he became a man. I wanted to come to this spot. I wanted to use this expedition as a way of telling that story.